Welcome everybody, I'm your host Jamie, bringing you Onward VRML Season 13, Week number 9, a game today. Newbies and No Fun Intended, these two sides are already into the battle, and yeah, I'm sure you guys are pretty much aware of these teams. No Fun Intended and Newbies have been around for such a long time, at least 2 or 3 seasons between themselves, but the players themselves definitely been around for a long time. Jason was originally on my first pacifist side, and so we know he's been around for a while. And No Fun Intended, Game Reaper, he's definitely been around for a long time, and Shadow Warrior and a couple others on there. So yeah, this both these sides going to be bringing out all the players today, and something to definitely be watching out for. So we are starting the day out on quarantine. So a little bit of a kind of post-apocalyptic America, I think, if you want to put it that way. Definitely one of my favorite maps. We've got Jason here holding out in the crash building. Keep an eye out for anyone moving around on the north. Got a very slight slither of an angle here. Down the alleyway, just listening, looking for any movement, listening out for any sound cues.
Yeah. Check the west. Is Shadow not going to AC?
So we can see No Fun Intended very slowly here, setting up their kind of offensive push. 2 coming from the north, 2 from the south, 1 through the center. A very standard kind of push for this objective, well, for this objective, for many objectives really on quarantine. And this is one of the newer objectives of the ones that are available on quarantine. It's been around for a couple seasons now. C4 goes off there, not close enough to take out Mad Hatter though. Imagine Jason there with the clacker. Obviously heard the movement there and found his chances. Very unfortunate that they didn't actually get that. Game Reaper up here, holding out on the north side, on the west side of the rooftop. He's going to be looking for that pick over onto Jason, and Short Undead in a very, very nice position here to be able to provide some backup there. Trip also watching that, does get the long-range shot onto Manhattan, only downs him though.
Is dead.
With Deadshot also finding a shot onto SCX P5ET. Nice long-range pick there again from South Hospital, straight down onto the crash building. Must have been a headshot actually, because he is just gone. Shrimp here, we can see him there watching this. Didn't actually spot the movement there. Not actually quite sure what happened there. He was laid down. I think he may have been just checking his tablet, and unfortunately didn't spot the movement from Deadshot and Jittery. So Trip now got to hold out on mid-burning, as he is pretty much the next line of defense for this. And a quick look on the map, we can see the No Fun Intended attack now coming to a head. The majority of the push coming in from the west, or well, from the north and the south there. Jason is going to have a lot of work to do here, as Game Reaper and Manhattan look like they're going to be getting ready to push into the crash building. Shots ring out, not going to find their mark onto Manhattan, who did get revived by Game Reaper there. Shadow Warrior finds Short Undead and his position just on the outside of the objective. Now Jason is all alone. Mr. Trip does go down in mid-burning. Deadshot moving around here, and Jason could only move to that position really. Got to go down, can't let that cap happen. So very, very difficult kind of objective to defend, I think. And No Fun Intended will take the first point from map number 1. So, we got into the action just a little bit quick there. I was a little bit delayed myself in jumping in, so apologies for that. But thank you all for dropping by and watching this game tonight. Should be a fantastic one to bring, like I said. Expecting some very good plays from these sides, both Diamond teams, or Master. So yeah, they're pretty high up there. Obviously, no fun intended. Actually, are on a win streak at the moment, I believe. You know, they haven't lost a game as far as I'm aware. If we go over to the match page over on VRMasterleague.com, where you can go as well and find the match information for these sides, whether they played together before. They have last season. No fun intended came out on top, 12-5, and they did play Quarantine. No fun intended ended up taking that one 4-0. So, 4-1, I think. So we could see potentially a similar thing happen, or Newbies having, or I should say the Newbies, having obviously played more since Season 12, going to have a bit more to go on now. We are going to see SCXP 5ET and Mr. Trip, Mr. Shrimp, Jason, and Short Undead coming out for the Newbies. And over on No Fun Intended, we're going to see Jittery List, Shadow Warrior, the Mad Hatter, Deadshot, and Game Reaper. And just to put it into perspective for this map, No Fun Intended have played this 14 times and won it 9. And the Newbies have played this map 27 times and won it 11. And both sides having played it a little bit. Newbies obviously played it a little bit more. But to that effect, let us go into round number 2. Now we have the Newbies on the attack. No fun intended on the defense. We have very slightly different defense from No Fun Intended. Most people kind of off the objective, leaving it very, very exposed at the moment. And if somebody does take that kind of northeastern route, then, well, northwest, should I say, along the north rooftop, then Cap could be on the table. Shadow Warrior a little bit exposed from that position. Mad Hatter, the only defender really watching for that sort of. So Newbies, in a similar fashion, taking time to kind of set up on this defense. And Deadshot did find himself a pick there over on the far north kind of alley. Deadly with that sniper. Oh, Jason does find Mad Hatter over in that northwest corner behind the green container. Will open up the push here. If they can just take out Deadshot. He's got a very nice tight angle, though, over behind that white car. So he has a lot of cover, and he's got that knowledge of Jason's position. Short Undead hasn't really made himself known just yet. Whereas the shots onto Trip certainly will have alerted him to this position.
Oh! One more dead, one more dead.
It does seem like he didn't realize quite where Mr. Trip did go down, so Deadshot is going to be able to take out Short Undead as he peeks around that corner. Jason now looking for that refrag. And just like that, Shadow Warrior does find 2 kills just on the north side of the center there of mid-burning. So it does come down to Jason here. Two minutes nearly remaining on the clock. He has got a lot of time, really. See, he is very close to the objective here. I think he's just going to look for the dead bodies in the middle of the road and realize what approach is going to be good. He hasn't checked his tablet, so he doesn't know that he's actually the last one here. So there it is. Shadow Warrior there from Cash Building does catch him off guard and takes him down, so that No Fun Intended can take their second point for map number 1. No Fun Intended certainly have started out in a good fashion. Looking strong for this first map, whereas Newbies just finding their feet, looking for what angles, opportunities they can certainly find on this. I know that they're good on quarantine, so maybe when we get a different kind of objective, which has now changed to the kind of far east, not the far east, but the far east behind the center building. I just forget what people call that now. But yes, one thing we haven't actually done though is gone into those bands, you know, those elusive bands. So the first band coming in was Snow Peak from No Fun Intended, and Bazaar coming in from the Newbies. So good choices from both sides, really knowing these teams, as No Fun Intended is certainly very, very strong on Bazaar, and the Newbies can certainly play on Snow Peak very well, and they've got a lot of good strats for that, so really a good map to take off the tables for them. Whilst we're here, I'll do my ever awesome shout outs to the chat. So thank you all for dropping by and coming in and watching this game. Hi Bell, Zach VR, Steve James Tim, Just Do It, Salty Pog, and King Shava. Thank you for the subscription there for 3 months. Jesus. Really appreciative of that. Thank you for coming by. And Bubble Barry from OVL, thank you for dropping by to watch this game today. Lipinski also, Resident Caster, and I think we got is it 400? You can quote me on that one. Miro also popping by. Thank you all for coming in, and the ST Sunday. Whilst I was giving you the shout outs, the round did start there. Did get some pre-fire come out. Didn't quite catch what side it was, but you can see Trip there and Jason both holding the motel. Good positions to hold, really. It's a very, very strong spot because Z Game Reaper scanning over there, does get the quick shots onto Trip, takes him down.
Motel, upside down.
Peeking that window just for a little bit too long there, allowing Game Reaper to get that shot, but Mr. Shrimp also going to find a kill of his own. Deadshot going down, that's going to be a crucial pick, but Shadow Warrior very quick on the refrag from mid-burning. Jason has been identified by Manhattan. Trying to get the yell out. Sounded like he was shouting his parents, "Man!" He did get the call out on the radio, so the Game Reaper knows where Jason is. He's still in a very good position, though. He can just keep holding, keep moving around these windows there, just try and keep them on the toes. Maybe find an angle. Game Reaper is moving up onto the motel now. Does seem like he's got... You have something in his hand? You have a nade in his hand? It did seem like it. That... Oh no, it's his gun. So Game Reaper trying to work together here with Manhattan to get this pick. If they can plan it right and just try and draw Jason out, then one of them certainly could try and take a shot. Game Reaper a little bit too close to the motel potentially to get an angle though, so it is going to come down to Manhattan to just find that angle. Oh, short and dead with a very nice peek there. Does spot Game Reaper on the east side of the motel to take him down. No fun intended, down to 3 now with the Newbies also on 3. Shadow Warrior approaching through the center. Manhattan trying to find a way of pushing past the motel. It's Realist now bringing up the rear to try and provide some much needed support.
Is motel clear? We know. Two minutes.
Bit of pre-fire here from Shadow Warrior, or he may have seen a little bit of movement from SCX. Oh, SCX does get the shots onto Shadow Warrior there, takes him down. Manhattan though spotting short undead in the east 2-story. This is where the quick push needs to come in. Jittery List trying to get in on the objective. Manhattan telling him to go cap while he brings provides a little bit of support. We can see SCX scanning along the south west side of the motel.
Yeah, okay, so Shadow's on the inside.
Manhattan's very confident, doesn't know that Shadow's actually gone down though, hasn't checked his tablet just yet. Jittery and Manhattan, the only defenders here. Jittery does find SCX though. Jason now pushing around to try and see what he can do. Oh, he does get an angle onto Jittery, but the trade comes out and seem like Newbies have no more defenders remaining and they will lose that round. So no fun intended, and now going to go up 3 points to nothing. So no fun intended are riding with the no losses at the moment. Looking very, very strong for this. The Newbies just need to put a stop to that momentum, and I guess that's easier said than done. This is the level now where the game certainly will start to get much more difficult. We are coming to the end of the season, just a few more weeks remaining until we start going into the final stages with the round robins and the round robins, semi-finals and the finals. So these sides now looking to get as much knowledge and information on each other as they possibly can, and use that going into those final stages. So all all this is important now, and that MMR is certainly key as well, just so you don't have to go through the round robins, just go straight into the Challenger Cup, and then yeah, obviously go through there, and then you're on to the kind of semi-finals. So it is a very, very tough one at this point in the season, as teams obviously have been scrimming a lot as well. They've been playing these games, so they're very, very prepared. But we will go now into round number 4 with no fun intended on the defense. Same objective. Got to watch out though, because this one is certainly you can certainly fall foul of the quick cap on this one. So something you just got to be watching out for, and the newbies are very good at doing those quick caps.
I'm going to give them quite a lot of space here. 605, 1298. Rotate, Jay. Don't let him kill you as well.
It did seem like we lost Mr. Tripp there. Deadshot finding a long-range angle, I believe, from the south.
Yes, I'm coming back.
Over into the hospital. He must have taken that top floor or just exposed himself just a little bit there, and Deadshot going to be quick on the pick. That's what he does. So Jason now over in the South Hospital, trying to find an angle. Does know that obviously Mr. Tripp did go down there. We got SCX and Short Undead coming in from the north. Short on there, just trying to find an angle from underneath the truck here. Game Reaper staying just tucked in. You're not going to spot him until you are out in the open. Man, that's going to be the one to spot the movement. Throws in a flare for fun. Certainly does block a little bit aside. Good play, really. You're not going to be able to look into the motel windows very well. Short Undead goes out in the open and gets taken down by Game Reaper.
Reaper, look at money trucks, I'll look at dumpster.
Okay.
-1.
Jittery List also finds his pick onto Jason. Newbies now down to 2 on the attack. Can't see Mr. Shrimp trying to take the silent route. Jittery, not aware of this yet. He looks around in this corner. He will take down Shrimp. Oh! Oh, that was just too close.
I'm on the stairs.
Oh, very nice C4 from Shadow Warrior there, watching the
Stairs,
push.
sneaky.
Does now come down to SCX. 1 minute remaining. Got to take on 5 members and no fun intended. But Mad Hatter will get a pick and give no fun intended the final point for map number 1. Some very, very, very strong start there for no fun intended. Very tough for the newbies starting out on the on their map pick, and it's yeah. But we are now going into the newbies map pick, and they will have a choice of where they decide to take no fun intended. We do go over to the maps played for these teams. So biggest map that the newbies have played is Subway. They've won it 24 times out of the 45 they played it. 249 rounds in total. That's a lot of Subway. Next one would be Bizarre, but that's banned. Quarantine we have just played. So we could see a Suburbia potentially come out as well. 26 times they have played it, 14 times they've won it. So again, about 50% of a win ratio, and it does seem like we're going to go over to Abandoned. Very interesting choice. So we go from the post-apocalyptic America all the way over to, I don't know, where is this, Alaska? I want to say it's a bit Alaskan. It's like a little town or a village somewhere in the Yukon or something like that. Is that Alaska? I think that's more Canada. But nevertheless, very good map to play. It's very, very big open map, Abandoned, and so many places for both sides to be able to hide and just get a nice angle. Snipers certainly are worth their salt on this map, so Deadshot going to be looking for what picks he can find. So we'll see what kind of play we're seeing from the newbies. As if we take a look on the map scores for this, they have played it 5 times and won it once. Whereas No Fun Intended to play this map 3 times and won it 3 times. So they are looking strong for this map on paper, but we will see, as I imagine the newbies have done the homework and they're very, very aware of the win rate there. So whether they've been scrimming and they've been winning on this map is another story. Does seem like we're potentially going to see some. Oh, no, I did see some players drop, but it does seem like they are back now. So whilst we have the time, just want to shout out everyone again who is dropping by. Thank you all for sticking around and watching the watching this game. It's interesting to see who you guys are rooting for on the side seems pretty split really in the chat, so that's good to see. And obviously we've got those predictions going as well. Identity Crisis has popped by, and Peas Gaming, Miss a Lot VR, and Laid Back Egg. Thank you very much for dropping by and catching the rest of Quarantine there and coming in to abandon with us. And Andrada. No worries for the shout out. Also want to say hello to MK Snooper, Grim DSG, and just Ollie Head, having also subscribed for 3 months. Thank you very much. Again, the support certainly does mean a lot to us casters, so thank you for that. So it does seem like potentially we... Oh, I was about to say we're going into a bit of a timeout there, but maybe the Yammerings of myself have killed that time. So we will see now round number 1 for map number 2. So, a very, very tough objective, really, for Volk, I think, to defend. They've got to spread out so far on this.
The line in middle one.
Can hear the drone also flying around there.
No, I don't want to go down this.
You can do it, Jason. I believe in you.
I didn't know you could do that.
Nope, that hurt you, though. So there we go. Learning something new every day there. Even master teams can find something new out when they do play this. So there you go. Can see Manhattan there with it. Nice long range angle. Does spot Jason. Takes him down. Only down. Blair also coming out there and taking down the drone. The revive will potentially come out very, very shortly.
Yeah.
Both Jittery List and Shadow Warrior finding the kill themselves. You can see that central kind of push being put a stop to. Jason is down with no chance of a revive now, I don't think, as Shadow Warrior is watching that angle. Shadow Warrior just gets the confirm there. Mr. Trip now trying to get Manhattan all the way at the top there. Going to be a tough angle to try and find him on.
There was one in 3-story, and I shot at him, and he's hiding now. Oh shit! It's just you and me.
So Mr. Trev realizing that a couple people have gone down at this point. A nice position to be in. 3 minutes 30 and 2 players having to push in on the objective. They did say it before. The snipers and the people who can use them certainly worth a lot for this map. able to just find those long-range angles and allow somebody the approach they need.
Dude, 55 left. Probably should move it a little.
Yep, short undead there, realizing the time. Those are the got to push in, and no fun intended, have just stayed in, so tucked away in the little corners. You can see Shadow Warrior every now and then just peeking and Mad Hatter, but everyone else is just kind of staying in, waiting for whatever they can see. And that's a battle in its own, as it's always tough to try and stay that kind of regimented, because he lays there from Mad Hatter, does spot short undead. It's a very, very long range angle, that is. The 2x doing work just to bring him into sight, as I don't think you'd really spot that kind of movement usually from that position with a holographic. I mean, I wouldn't. My eyes are awful.
Well, I'm distracting 3-story at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would stay back.
Oh, but Mad Hatter does spot the movement and missed a trip. Short undead now needs to try and get the revive here, but it's going to be a tough one. He's watching for it.
Probably get me. You run.
Yeah, possibly. Do you reckon I'll get shot at?
Definitely going to get shot at.
Yeah, dude.
Good use of a smoke.
To you and keep
There's only a slither of a gap there. Oh, but Mad Hatter does use it to take him down. So the Newbies not going to be able to successfully get this attack round. No fun intended, going up 1 point on the second map. So, Newbies map pick, and not probably gone the way that they would like that first one to go. Obviously. So we will now go into the Newbies on the defense for the garage objective. Certainly, again, I think it's a pretty tough one really for Volk to hold, because even though there's a little bit of kind of coverage in here, there's just too many angles really for many people to kind of cover. So I don't know. I'd be interested in thoughts in chat. What would do you guys like attacking this? Do you prefer defending it? Thank you for dropping by, Hurricane Helen. Always good to see you around on the on streams. Nabuto also dropping by. Thank you for watching the game tonight. And I will give Andreda another shout out, as you have just become the 4,200th follower of the channel. So thank you very much. Big number. But let us get into round number 2 for map number 2.
If you can watch that, then I'll stay underneath then.
A little bit of final deliberations there between Short Undead and Jason. Or is it Shrimp? I think it was Shrimp. You've just got to have those like last minute plans, just confirm where people are watching, what they're doing. So what's going to be a very split attack. We're going to see 3 going along the far eastern side. So it's only a bit more of a easier push, as you're going to obviously be able to get behind the motel there, but We have got Mr. Tripp just watching and waiting. As soon as the attack does come in, he's going to be able to turn around and potentially quickly get a few picks. But Mad Hatter certainly has spotted somebody in the 5-story there. I think it's SCX moving around and gives away his position. That 4X allowing Mad Hatter to be able to see into that building much more clearly. C4 going off there, not going to find any downs. Mad Hatter taking a quick check there. Jittery List with the first kill onto Mr. Tripp. Does clear does clear the motel. It's going to be a very crucial pick, as he certainly would have been able to kind of stop most aggression from the front, or well, from the front of the motel, backside of the objective, depending on what way you're looking at it. And so yeah, so that's going to open up this push. 3 minutes 40 now remaining on the clock. Mad Hatter was watching that window like a hawk and will spot SCX moving around there and takes him down as he moves back to that window. Newbies now down to 3. Got to hold out on this objective now. It's a very tough one, though, if you do allow Marsok to move in on around and just kind of surround you as the smokes. All that kind of play certainly makes it much more difficult. There comes the first smoke directly on the objective. Game Reaper spotting Jason just in the doorway there. Finishes him off. Mr. Shrimp trying to get to the refrag. Can't quite get that dead shot moving around on the objective. Outside. So I say this is the tough kind of spot. Oh, the team kill comes in. Short on dead. Spots the movement from Mr. Shrimp. Gets panicky and takes him down. Newbies not going, no fun intended, should say, not going to have an accurate kill count here. So the kill will come out onto Short Undead, and no fun intended will get the second point for map number 2. This is that tough momentum that you've just got to try and break. Obviously easier said than done. Team kill certainly not going to have help there in the final situation, but no fun intended. Really played that attack well to just get those picks, and then once he realized, you know, we've killed everyone outside of the objective, just then surround it, take people out in there systematically, and try and get the smokes in for the cab. So, round number 2, or well, number 3, should I say, is a go. Newbies back on the attack. Motel. Is it Motel? Yep. Motel being the objective now. So Jittery has taken the top floor of the motel, going to try and cover the backside. SCX moving in along the main street over here, or at least just camping here.
Dead.
Shadow Warrior with the first pick for round number 3 does take down Jason. I've got Mr. Trip ever so close though, waiting for the pick onto Shadow Warrior.
It's a headshot.
3-story.
Good smoke by Mr. Trip. I don't know if it'll cover this corner though. Not quite enough. Shadow Warrior able to just see around there. Does spawn the movement to take him down. Newbies now down to 3. Brunt of the Force is coming in from the west though. Going to be able to get around behind the objective. And this push here could certainly be what turns it around. They're going to get behind Shadow Warrior, potentially be able to take him down and then move through onto the through to the garage and open up the attack there for SCX.
Let's keep going. You have to watch out for 3-story.
Yep. They'll know we're here.
Oh, the trade between Mad Hatter and Mr. Shrimp going to come out there. Mr. Shrimp is only down though. And that is the first kill for the map that I think Newbies have got. Oh, Shadow Warrior very quickly on the refrag there. Does spot Short Undead moving around though. So Shrimp now got to move on his own in a position that's reminiscent of a couple rounds ago where Mad Hatter was watching this angle. So Mr. Shrimp is going to be able to push around there. He has got to work together now with SCX. So Shadow Warrior is pretty far off the objective. We can see him now just moving in. Probably the right decision to make at this point. Getting close to the objective. Just don't give him a chance. 1 minute 30 now remaining on the clock. As attackers certainly got to start trying to get another pick there. Shadow Warrior just moving in, does spot Mr. Shrimp to take him down. So SCX now all alone. Got to try and push in on the objective and find this cap or find 4 kills.
Don't know from where to expect this last guy.
We did hear the call out there from Shadow. He's not quite sure where to anticipate SCX from coming in. Smoke, though, if they did see the trail give away his position, I don't think they actually did. That's a very, very smart play there. It does seem like it has distracted Game Reaper and Jittery. Even Shadow looped over there as well. Deadshot could be potentially trying to move in to get that pick as well. You can see the laser there. They're checking for him. Very, very nice throw. You can use this distraction now to push in. Oh, unfortunately for him, though, Shadow Warrior did just spot the movement to get that pick. You gotta stay low. And no fun intended, going to get another point for map number 3. It's been a very, very, very tough battle so far for the newbies. The no fun intended playstyle certainly just coming out on top in the majority of scenarios here, but I feel like if they can just understand how no fun intended are playing at the moment and maybe just try and readjust, they could definitely bring this back. How's it going there, VRML? Gunman 12, thank you for dropping by. First time chat from yourself on the channel. Good to see you and see your interest for the VRML. Certainly going to be a good cast to watch back for the newbies, as they are a very, very, very strong side. You know, it used to be like this back in the day when you had like teams like Beginners and Boss Fight going around as well, and Globocam and you know, Danglers and SM. I can't even remember now, but yeah, just loads of SMC, just loads of teams, and you know, no matter how good you were, there was always that one team that could just, no matter what you did, always come out on top. Beginners without a team for me for that. So no doubt the newbies will be watching this back and just seeing how they can adjust what they're doing to account for this team. Deadshot with the very first pick onto Mr. Shrimp, though.
We have a friendly down.
So SCX just trying to get that long range shot, opting to use the G3 as a backup weapon for that close range shot, and then go back to using the sight on the AK for that long range shot. We can see the gunshots coming in from Deadshot, though. We can see the corners there.
I killed one.
Shadow Warrior finding Jason, though, around the objective, just on that east side of it.
Clear Reaper here, downstairs.
There's still one member very, very far east, though, so that positioning there could potentially be the off-the-cuff playstyle that puts a stop to any aggression from that angle.
First floor clear on my side. Going up second floor now.
3-story clear.
Yeah.
He was outside. Let's clear outside because there might be another one.
I'll go on the roof. Oh, pad is here.
So the 3-story now under Marsok control. Got to get this push through the garage now. SCX is watching this, though, so should be able to get the call-outs to Mr. Tripp to get him to loop this way. Can see Short Undead, like I say, in that far eastern position. He's going to be in a position to be able to rotate in if needs be. Game Reaper moving around on the outside there. I think, did we just see a drone?
One on a hangar, closer to the east side. In the north side east, in the hangar, in the mid hangar. Second apartment, first floor. Second apartment, first floor, in the middle.
Short Undead, like I said, in that east, does find himself a pick there. Game Reaper going down.
Going down.
Positioning has been called out, but that's one part of the battle. The next part is getting those picks, though. Two minutes about to come up on the clock here, and no fun. The Newbies certainly putting up a very strong defense on this objective. No fun intended, just trying to work their way in and get those picks, but they're just not quite able to. Deadshot now moving up on the objective. SCX, he is this.
And if about you can do, you can try to shoot me, but I will make your hand blow out It's going out for me.
Deadshot baiting out the shots there. Does get the trade, though. Jittery now in the motel. 1 minute 30 remaining on the clock. It comes down to Mr. Trip and Short Undead to defend the objective here. Seconds now remaining. The Newbies just need to hold this defense now. Looking very, very, very strong. Just got to find your angles and wait for no fun intended to have to push in. Smokes now are coming out, though. 30 seconds on the clock. Mr. Trip and Jittery so close. Mr. Trip goes down to Jittery, though, and he does just leave Short Undead. That smoke is blocking his vision. Smokes coming in now, lots of smokes. Short Undead trying to hold the objective, but he can't really cover it from Jittery. Jittery's out on the tablet. With his tablet out, Short Undead not rotating round, and the cap does come out very, very fast there. And no pun intended, will take the second map, 5-0. Came down to those final 13 seconds there. The Newbies looking ever so strong for that last round, but just couldn't quite hold out against no fun intended as they just surrounded and then got, obviously, smoked the objective and get that cap. So we now go back to no fun intended's map pick. So it does seem like for map number 3, we're going to be going over to Suburbia. Very, very fun map to kind of close things out on now. Very fast-paced, fast-paced action. Now I can't speak. Yes, fast-paced action on this map compared to how Abandoned and Quarantine potentially went. First objective going to be the Burning Porch. Does seem like we aren't going to see any roster changes for this map. So we've still got SCX P5ET playing on Newbies with Shrimp, Mr. Shrimp, Jason, Short Undead, and Mr. Trip. With over on the No Fun Intended side, Shadow Warrior, the Mad Hatter, Deadshot, Jittery List, and Game Reaper. So without much further ado, we will be going into round number 1 for map number 3.
So many people talk at the same time. A little bit of Manishna.
C4 coming out there, not going to find its mark. Mr. Trick with the first kill does take down Deadshot though. Oh, Mad Hatter was watching for that flank, does get the refrag very quickly onto Mr. Trip. SCX now pushing up to try and get a kill back of his own.
There's more of them, there's more of them.
Mad Hatter just trying to get those shots over onto SCX. The flash coming out there.
I killed him.
Jittery able to hear the gunshots from SCX and just get that fire through the bush. So it comes down to Mr. Shrimp to cover lane 1. But the objective is all the way on the playground, while behind the playground near lane 4, Short Undead covering lane 3 from the sandbags. And then we will have Jason over outside the spawn house just covering anyone trying to push from lane 4. Smokes now coming out. Mad Hatter there getting spotted by Jason. Does go down. Short Undead also finding the pick of his own. The first time tonight, Newbies have gone ahead in players against No Fun Intended. Game Reaper on the refrag, trying to find the pick, does find the pick onto Jason though. Got to work with Jittery now, 2v2.
It's just me and you.
short undead on the outside. Does go down to Game Reaper also, though.
Kill cam now.
The Jittery List does find an angle onto Shrimp to give, no pun intended, the first point for map number 3. So, no fun intended, continuing with their wins. Going to take the first round of map number 3. So, Newbies certainly looking very, very strong again there. You know, went ahead, and unfortunately the positioning, I think, just going against them slightly there with the outside plays by Game Reaper and Jittery. They're able to just find those angles that where Newbies are just kind of tucked in and watching. I feel like the meta for Onward has kind of shifted a little bit from those days, probably what we would have done a few seasons ago, and I'm finding this myself now with running another team. It's definitely changed a little bit. You've got to be a little bit more fluid, I think, nowadays with your defense. Bulk of got to be, or well, not be afraid of coming around and you know, making those pushes, making those flanks, and actually going for them now. But what do I know? I'm just a duck. Let's go to round number 2 for map number 3. Free fire from Jason coming out, not going to find anyone. Shadow Warrior, though, is going to be the one to find the shots onto Short Undead, taking him down on lane 3. Mad Hatter was able to get the shots onto Jason, though, whilst he was getting that pre-fire out. No fun intended, up 5 to the Newbies with 3 up at the moment. Game Reaper spotting the movement from SCX over on lane 4, does take him down. C4 coming out, not going to find anyone. A smoke there is blocking Shadow's view. Relying solely on Jittery and Deadshot to be defending the objective from here right now.
That's you, fuck.
Mr. Shrimp getting a little bit spooked there. Thought he was getting flanked and tried to take shots. Got quite lucky there. So Mr. Trip and Mr. Shrimp, the dynamic duo. Oh, the flash coming out now. So the gunshots from Mr. Shrimp did give away his position, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going to use that flash to push. Mr. Shrimp just sits there and waits and hopes for the best. There's certainly one thing I am noticing from, no pun intended. Oh, Jittery did just have a line of sight there on lane 4, so he's able to take down Mr. Trip as he's moving in. Mr. Shrimp now got to hold. As I was saying, what I'm noticing from no pun intended, like I said, is the movement from players they're close to their original positions, albeit Manhattan is moving around a lot. But for the most part, they're pretty close to their original positions, but just kind of moving around from side to side, big wide angles, and whereas the newbies are you know, very, very tight at the moment. Two minutes 30 remaining on the clock. Mr. Shrimp trying desperately to come up with a plan at the moment of to how he is going to attack on this objective now. But Mr. Shrimp will get spotted by Deadshot from Sickness, and he will go down, so no pun intended, take their second point for map number 3. I mean, increasingly difficult at the moment for the newbies, but they are still fighting and just using all the reserves that they can and still just putting up attacks and defenses, and it's just commending to see. You know, the last defense, it came down to the last 2v2. So I anticipate a very similar play in this next objective. That nice tight defense should work for them, but maybe they do need to be just that little bit more fluid on the positioning. Then again, there have been some pushes and just no fun intended, they've just shut it down, so it's always tough. So let us go into the third round for map number 3. So the next objective being behind the Humvee over on lane 1. Very tough one to defend. Slightly easier on the attack than the northern side, because obviously you're much closer and you haven't got to cross this road. Still, though, very good choice to make. Pre-fire coming out from Manhattan, not going to land its mark, though. Jittery got to scan the area now, see what kind of push may be available. SCX in a very common spot, but it's super powerful nonetheless. The only thing that really can take that position out is a very well-placed nade.
There's one in lane 1. Assuming he's at the eastbound bag by DR.
Mr. Trip holding on to this flash here, just expecting a push anytime soon. Could be a couple minutes before Game Reaper actually decides to make this push, but he has unpinned that flash. Trade between Jittery and Short Undead, but not before SCX will go down. Shrimp now going to try and get that revive. Does manage to get the revive, but and just like whilst that's going on, Mr. Trip's going to go down to Game Reaper on lane 4. Push coming in from the behind now. Game Reaper, Manhattan, and Deadshot all pushing in from the back. Mr. Shrimp going to be very exposed on that side. To him and Short Undead really need to try and work something out here to get the defense. Maybe if Shrimp can start looking north, goes for the
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
rotation instead. Mr. Shrimp going to try for a flank here. Just don't want to get caught out. Short Undead is pretty safe. Shadow Warrior watching for the flank. Does take down Mr. Shrimp, though. Short Undead and Jason now alone on the objective. Matata spots the little gap, or a slither adjacent through that little gap. The M203 smoke has come out. Short Undead moves up into a position to be able to cover the objective. Has got a very nice line of sight here. Should be able to just kind of stop any push, but just as I say that, the smoke comes out, blocking Short Undead's vision. Deadshot has made it all the way over onto the objective. Tablet is out. Short Undead hasn't spotted this movement, and Deadshot's capping. He's got to move in, and there it is. There's the cap. No pun intended, going to take the second or third map for to nothing. Just goes to show you cannot leave it open even for a second. Doing just that will allow the enemy to rush in and get that cap. Commiserations to the newbies, but no fun intended, played super well tonight. We're able to take all 3 maps. So on that proverbial bombshell, I am going to head on out and go relax for the rest of the evening. So thank you all for dropping by and watching the game tonight. It's been a great one to bring to you. We've got another one to bring on Saturday, which should be an interesting match as well. So looking forward to getting those casts in over the weekend. And as I always say, VRML is looking for any other casters, production, you know, anyone who likes to kind of do anything graphically, or if that's you, there's many opportunities for you to jump in and kind of help out and do some bits. So if you're interested, then definitely give me a shout in the Onward in the VRML Discord, and we can certainly point you in the right direction. So I've been your host, Jamie. I will look forward to seeing you on Saturday when Dead Logic take on Oscar Victor Lima. So thank you all for watching the game, and have a good night.